And I'm ready to complete the bracelet. So first of all, this is the voice of experience. I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of my beads away using my bead scoop. Just get them in the scoop and put them back in your container. Now let me move the camera up to the point of where we're working with the conclusion. Okay. As you can see, I've strung the last bead, but my thread is still there. I just wanted to review for you. This is the same thing we've done several times before. And we're going to take the needle and we're going to place 2 knots around the thread that's right in here. And to do that, again, you come in from behind, below the last bead. Below the last bead, next to the right side of the leather is where I do it. Catch this loop. Go between the thread and catch the loop. I've gone through the thread. Don't want to do that. Okay. And then pull that knot tight. Looks like I have my end caught in there. Okay. And then I do that a second time, just for security. Come in below the bead. Catch the loop and back. Put the needle between the leather and through the loop. And pull it. And then this would be a time to zap it off. And I had thread zappers without a battery, so we're just going to cut it off for now. I still have these down here that I'll zap off later. Okay, so we're done with the needle. Now, we're going to need a little heavier piece of nylon thread. And some people use Ceylon thread for this. This is kind of like Ceylon, a generic version of Ceylon. You need, oh, say 12-14 inches of this. Just won't need all that, but I'm not much for working with short ends, tying with short ends, so we'll leave that. So I put that down there. Now, with this thread, I'm going to wrap it around the 2 leathers and pull it tight. And the goal here is to just kind of pull that together. You see how that is? And then you're going to wrap and cross behind and tie another knot. And I'm good. Okay, and then I do that one more time. And now you need to bring this button down into place, and you want the button to be facing away from you. So if you start kind of twisting it to the back as you go, and wiggle it down, and if it doesn't want to move, which is often the case for me, I will do the bracelet. But this one, I finally did get it to move. So you pull it down, so the knot you just tied is actually on this side of the button, and give that another tightening. Now we're going to cross behind, and this time we're going to come down on top of the button and pull that tight and tie it, and then cross behind again and tie it, and then one more time, and tie it. Pay attention to the way you're doing it because you're going to do a square knot to finish this. Let's see. Okay, so this thread is below, so I need to come below with that thread to finish the square knot. Okay, almost there. At this point, I use a little bit of cement or glue to ensure that. This is, it's called GS Hypo Cement. This works well for this. I like this stuff because it has this, with pinpoint accuracy, it's got this little wire needle on it. Let's see. Okay, you can see it there. What I don't like about it is that it's always a mess. But anyway, so I'm going to squeeze a little bit. I want to squeeze it onto the knot I just tied. And I also want to connect it to the leather, so I'll do a little bit of the leather above it. And I always put a little on the bottom knot as well, though probably not necessary. Okay, by that time the tube is oozing. See how it's oozing? And then I have trouble getting this little wire thing back in here. I'm sure you'll be better than I am. This is typical what happens. Okay, I'm in. Try to take my finger and wipe off some of the glue that oozed out of there and push it down. So that's it. I'm going to put my glue away. This glue will all be dry to the touch in a half hour, but it cures in 24 hours. So I'm never too much of a hurry to cut these off. I wait till it's completely dry and cured before I do that. Okay, now we're ready to take the bracelet off of the loom. So I'll go back to my hook here and unhook the bracelet. And then I'm going to undo this lark's head knot around my end. And undo the knot that I tied to start with. Okay, finally got that done. That's all going to be curly a little bit. Try to keep your hands out of the glue. And then you can cut these tails off. You can cut them short or long. I usually do them about like that, and I cut them off at an angle. It looks a little more diagonal, right? I don't know what looks more. Okay, so the bracelet is basically done at this point, except for the drawing of that glue. And there's your button, and there's your bracelet.